religion, I thought I'd talk about religion. First, I'd like to get a few points across the table. Right, I do think religion played a very vital part in the human race turning out to be what it is today. Without religion, we'd be a bunch of backward savages that ate each other apart. I do believe that the moral code that you have in yourself is greatly influenced by the religious school that you were put into as a kid. So the reason we feel bad about killing people, or the reason we feel bad about doing anything that is unethical or immoral, is because we were taught that way by the religion that we belong to. So that having said, I do think there are countless other areas that were damaged by the idea of religion, and it is being damaged even now more than ever. So I wanted to talk about how religion spoiled a few things for us. First things first, not that it matters anyway, but I think the idea of an organized religion is just not cutting it anymore. All right, the people that act as if they're agents of God, these gurus and the you know what I'm talking about. All right, every religious institution has a godman. I don't believe that idea is working out anymore. There were godmen before and they were respected because people didn't know any better. Uh, they said they could influence the monsoons and the sun and the moon and the tide. The people that understood the basic science of how things worked acted as if they were godmen, and even now that's happening. But people are also waking up to the general information of how things work, and I think it's really exposing the institutionalized religion nowadays. And what religion also did is put an unnecessary uh, barrier between us. Call it a bucket, all right? You put things in a bucket to organize your ideas and perceptions about the world. Now there is an extra bucket called a religion when you think about a person. Of course, the religion has very little to do with who they are as a person, but you do characterize them with religion also inadvertently because it's just so in the face these days. I guess it has gone down a bit now, but before, say, 20 or 30 years, before this was far more evident than what it is today. I hope we move forward in the direction that we're moving and we completely forget about the existence of the religious difference at all. But if that does not happen, I'd be very pissed off at the damage that has been done to the humanity in the name of religion. What religion also got wrong is they considered themselves part of the organizational hierarchy of a society. It was not meant to be that way, but it was always. Religion has always been a part of the power that ruled the people. That should not be the case, because if that is the case, people are not free to choose other religions then, because they won't get the same benefits as the people that are in the side of the organization. By organization, I mean organization plus the religion that is supporting or running the organization. This has always been the case. The the Catholics and even here, even in India, there is a prolonged history about how religions like Shaiva and Vainava competed for power and how they take it as an opportunity to spread their religion. So one of the main reasons I don't believe in the integrity of religion, of organized religion, is their efforts to be part of the power, the ruling class. which is not very characteristic of an institution that must teach love and acceptance. The third thing why I think religion failed is people were not mature enough to accept the fact that they were not looked over by someone. They were not going to be punished for what they don't and what they do. People were not mature enough to understand the fact that they are the ones that face the consequences for their action, and they needed someone to blame when things don't work out, and they needed someone to show them when they were not feeling just right enough to face the day. I think it's fair enough that people have a emotional cushion, but I do think over reliance on religion alone will not solve any problem. And because religion made it seem like that, just worship and you'll be fine. Because religion made it seem like that, I think the human potential of people that rely overly on religion is a bit tampered with, especially people who have problems of lower self-esteem. They would probably face even more pressure if they're religious. And the number of here's the most important part, right? The amount of time and effort science has to take to prove religion wrong is just criminal. All right, if a scientist finds out the earth is round, you leave him out there and go do the next job. How big is it? You start measuring that. You start measuring that stuff. You start doing the next thing. You don't compete with science to prove that what was said in the scriptures 3,000 years before was right. If it was right, it was right. Cool. But if it's not, it's not. You also have to accept that those people wrote it 3,000 years ago. No matter how intelligent they were or woke they were, they did not have a fucking telescope. They don't know what a earth is like. And even in India, people rely too much on Vedic scriptures. I agree that Indian Vedic scriptures, along with a few other religious scriptures of the world, are excellent sources for psychology and self-discipline, and they are excellent motivational books. They are excellent for personal development, but they were nowhere as advanced as we are when it comes to medicine and just anything. They were 3,000 years earlier. They did not have the tools to be as intelligent as we were. If given the tools, I don't know what would have happened, but they did not have tools like us. They do not have as much knowledge as we do, so they are not right about everything that they have spoken about. All right, they spoke what's right within their limits, not the actual right thing. And as and when times change, you have to accept that right and wrong itself change. So religion, if anything, has put blinkers in humanity. We're not able to see anything apart from God and religion. The idea of God and the idea of religion has been shoved on our faces so much that if you refuse to be a part of the religious cult, yeah, I'm gonna call that a cult. If you don't agree to be a part of the religious cult, they just outcast you and call you a uncultured prick. No, I'm not. All right. I believe in the idea of what's good and what's wrong, and I believe in the idea of not causing others harm. All of this is happening, yes, but I don't want somebody to watch over or some religious text to tell me what to do, because it's outdated. All right, the knowledge that they have and what's said, and especially if you're gonna fight over which texture gives you the right way to heaven, I'm not even a part of that. All right, I'd just rather be a good guy and move on with my own life. I'm not gonna fight with, I'm not gonna be a part of an organization that strives, I don't know, that strives for acceptance amongst masses competing with one another. All right, that's not religion, that's business. You're doing marketing, you're expanding your customer base. I don't know, all right? Religion, not my cup of tea. But being a good person, everybody can do that. Forget religion.